In today's modern parenting, as you get older and settle into your life as an adult, you might start to notice a change in your relationship with your parents.
You don't say. It can start small as them asking for advice on finances, or it can be a life-altering medical diagnosis. Regardless of how it happens, becoming a parent to your parents can be difficult, complicated, and just tricky to navigate.
Joining us now is psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig. She's always got some good answers, Dr. Robi. I mean, let's first just talk about, when does this shift usually start happening in the relationship between parent and child?
So they say that in midlife is when you start to see that shift happening. So anywhere from 40 to 60. But of course, every situation is different. Everybody's parents are different. But that's when there's a shift. It's not necessarily a role reversal, but things start to change.
And what should young adults, folks in their midlife, wherever you are on the spectrum, keep in mind when it comes to parenting a parent? And is there anything that should be off limits?
You know, I think it's really important to be respectful. You don't want to demean your parents. This is difficult for both the child and the parent. So be open, ask them questions. How's your health? Is there anything new going on? Are you seeing doctors on a regular basis? Are you having difficulty in any areas that you'd like me to help out with? So you start out with an open conversation and listen to what they have to say. And I think that's the best way to start, unless you're observing some major declines.
Yeah, you got to remember that they're still adults too, right?
Yeah.
Your parents.
Yeah.
There is this term, parentified child. That's referring to when a younger child has to start parenting their parent.
Yeah.
That seems to be sort of the opposite issue here. Is there an age that is too young to ask kids to parent their parents?
Yeah, I mean, I think before a child is an adult, it's not really fair. It does happen. And sometimes parents look forward to a time in life when their child can take care of them because they like that idea. But yes, if a child is still a child, we want to protect their childhood, and we want them to feel safe and to feel that their parent can take care of them.
Yeah, and Dr. Robi, you brought up health a few times.
Yes.
What are ways a child, child being any age, right, of a parent, can navigate that, taking care of their parents' health while still respecting the fact that they are an adult?
I think it's important to not only rely on yourself. There are experts out there who can help. There are social workers who can make evaluations. There are lawyers who can help with some of the legal questions. But if you notice a decline in memory and your parent is having a hard time getting around the house, they can't take a shower anymore, they can't get themselves around independently, that's when you really want to make an intervention, because they need someone to do that.
Are there questions you should ask them?
Just, how are you getting along? And see if their memory is intact. You know, listen to what they have to say. Some parents will say, listen, I'm really struggling with this issue. My medications aren't serving me well. And also for a child, see if you can get permission from your parent if you can speak to a doctor, because sometimes you need to get direct information and you want to make sure that it's clear and correct.
Yeah, and it can be hard to do that if you don't have the permission, because anybody over 18 doesn't have to share their information. I want to ask about another one we just had on the screen there, which is end-of-life plans. It can be so difficult to bring that up with anyone, let alone with your parents.
I know.
Right?
It's
how do you want the end to look? It's grim. You should.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to ask that question when everyone's in a crisis, because that makes everything worse. So the way to say it is, have you thought about end-of-life planning? I'm only asking because I want to make sure that all of your wishes are honored, and I want to make sure that you're taken care of well. So to position it in that way.
And then really briefly, it's not just health. Sometimes things around finances come up, or emotions. How do you navigate that?
Well, just to say, how are things going with the finances? Should we look with an expert to see if you're putting your money in all the right places and that you're protected? You know, if you put it in a way that's, I'm here to help you, I'm here to serve you, that's always a better approach than saying, let me take something away from you.
Love that.
Yeah, good point. Dr. Robi Ludwig, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching NBC News Daily.